My sister who raised me was a gangster. Could take $1 and balance the budget like in 25 minutes, $100. So I think that in order to trust Black women, we gotta kind of like, I think you and I were talking about, or no, I was talking to my driver on the way over about holding yourselves accountable. 81% of people don't talk, and Black men have to talk to the women. And a lot of the women, and it's not 80% of 81% of women, it's 81% of people don't talk. So I think it starts with a dialogue. But I can personally tell you, I can't imagine walking around with another person inside of me. And I think that we have to yield to women. And I don't think the government can tell you if you were raped. I mean, they're talking about if you were raped or molested, that you have to have that child. I don't think the government should have any say in that. Along with women having a choice of their bodies, we also have to teach our daughters and sons how to be responsible. Not rely on the plan B, because abortion shouldn't be used just so you can all go out and have a good time. Whether, because we walk away, but women have to deal with the body, the changing your body. It's so much. I tell my girl all the time, I couldn't do it. Just having a menstrual cycle. I would say, God, can y'all let mine come every whole year?
1 second.
I can pay somebody once a year.
I mean, this shouldn't even be brought up in a conversation. We have no clue how it is to do that, because our bodies were never made to do this. So you can't say I not that we would want to, but I'm trying to say is like we can't just jump in the mind and say I could never have that happen. That just doesn't make any fucking sense, because we're men. Of course, it's not going to happen. That's not something that's supposed to happen. Like that is just that is just fucking insanely crazy to even think about. You're trying to jump into the mind of something, or like in the body of another person that we're not built to even experience. So I mean, most women, the shit he's talking about, a lot of women say it's beautiful. A lot of women said it's the best thing that they're ever proud of, and it was the best time in their lives giving birth to their kids and that whole process.
That is trauma.
It's bullshit to say this type of shit that a lot of women will say that it was the best time in their lives, and then you try to flip it around and say that you couldn't imagine it because it's fucking terrible. Like, so yeah, I just want to go in that little part there, because that is just fucking stupid, man.
And I'll draw off of that though. So now when, like I said, we on the internet, there's a lot of people who just bounce off personal opinions. Feel how you feel. Y'all could battle with us in the chat, or if y'all catch the restream, we can talk in the comments. A lot of women say that the pregnancy is a beautiful thing. That's because a lot of women just feel like they're ignored by society, and the only time they get attention is when they're pregnant. Once a woman gets pregnant, if she has a community, a village around her, or she actually picked a half decent baby daddy, or she has a good husband, that person or those group of people are at her beck and call. Anything that she wants, boom, 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 back to back, she gets it. If she sneezes wrong, oh my God, you good? They rolling out the red carpet. She don't get that on a day-to-day basis. So the only time she feels seen the way she wants to be seen is when she's pregnant. When your stomach flat, you got a strong back and you able-bodied, and you like, oh, can you help me? Bitch, you got hands too. Pick it up your damn self. You don't see me with this other shit over here? But when she's pregnant and you got 50 bags and she wants you to pick up bag 51, you're like, all right, you know what? Go sit down, go catch your breath, whatever. I got this.
Yeah, don't do nothing. You good.
And, it's not a positive or negative, but it's just, a lot of them are just the attention that they really want. They want to be coddled and held like a baby. They get that special baby bird, can't fly yet in the nest treatment when they're pregnant. So that's why they're like, oh, pregnancy is a beautiful experience. You get a couple that like pain. I mean, you got them shorties that got 50,000 tattoos, so they like the labor. I mean, I don't watch the coochie stretch before. That shit is scary as hell. Like, I'm supposed to go back in it after this? Like, you telling me that I'm hitting the back? Cause after that motherfucker came out, I don't know if there's nothing left on the table.
Give him the extra stitch.
Hey man, all I'm gonna say is the human body is an amazing device.
It is.
But to reel it back in and be serious though, it's like a lot of them, they love it because they love the attention that comes with it. If they could get that same level of attention without going through that process, I promise you a lot of them would even skip that process to begin with. And you know, you got the women that they play 5, 6, 7 men at once, and they get that level of attention, and them the ones that chew Plan B's like Flintstone vitamins. So it just all depends. You can either lose your moral code on a public setting and just, you know, become the ran through and get the attention that way, or you can still be precious or whatever in the eyes of a few, and you just know once your stomach swell up, you getting the attention that you want. So then they say that they like that process. My opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watched my girl go through the changes emotionally, and not just physically, but it's a lot of shit women go through. So I think men, honestly, need to sit down, shut the fuck up.
Right.
It's a lot that we don't see because
Man, get this man out the conversation.
if you weren't raised that way, you don't know. It's like you listening to you guys trying to be good husbands. But the women gotta let us in, and we can't tell them what to do. And I think this government has to step
Hey
down.
man, pause this shit, man.
Man.
We not gonna make it through this video, man.
No. Hey man, this is Sim University over here, bro.
This on God it is. This man needs to go teach fucking simple logistics at Harvard.
Oh, bro, he ain't the worst. He ain't the worst one.
Every 2 sentences is worse than the last 4.
He wild, bro.
Just wait till the other motherfuckers open their mouth. Shit.
So I'm supposed to put my life on the line for a bitch and do all this extra shit. And I ain't supposed to have no say so. I'm supposed to just sit the fuck down and shut up.
That's the problem right now. Nobody got no fucking say so. That's why
ain't no backbone. Ain't got no backbone.
That's the problem right there, bro.
Man, he finna have me back in the cleaners. Where my cleaners at? Shit,
Putting them back in the cleaners. I'm telling you, wow, in the streets, boy.
Women are the first wonder of the world, despite what's said. It's the first wonder.
Exactly.
That's the only thing outside of God that I know that creates.
Yes.
First and foremost. The issues that we have.
Can we pause this again?
The woman knows before we know.
I done told y'all before. Courtney brought up the Bible. I brought up science. Whatever other religion or discipline of theory and fact you want me to research, put it in the comments, put it in the chat. I'll go look into it. Women do not create, they carry. Men create. Y'all need to, if y'all gonna get raised in the matriarchy and whatever, and I understand everybody love mama more than dad because that's who you see more because she in the house and he not. I get it. But let's stop fucking creating our own weird ass facts that don't fucking exist. Women don't create shit. The same women that hate men and talking about get rid of men and all men belong in the casket because I done seen y'all little bitch ass TikTok lives y'all got going on. Pretty intellectual and the rest of y'all just to drop some names. Since we on one tonight.
Oh shit, we on one today. Y'all
want to get rid of men and all that, then cool. Go bump your little fuzzy ass coochies to the end of the earth, but y'all can't produce shit unless somebody drop dick off in you. Y'all don't create, y'all carry. I don't know why y'all keep telling y'all sons this dumbass shit, but that ain't how it is. And to the people in the chat worried about, well, not worried, but they're inquiring as to who's married, who's not. Yes, we have people on the panel that are married, and we have people that came from 2-parent households. I came from a single mother household, and I'm still telling you that that's some bullshit. And I wasn't going back then. So we need to, if we're gonna go to school and become educated, not indoctrinated, because a lot of y'all niggas going to school to become indoctrinated. If we gonna be educated, let's actually focus on the topics at hand that are being taught. And if you don't want to believe anything, you can cross-reference multiple things and still see that they all come to a middle ground. Religion will tell you that men create and women carry. Science will tell you that shit. I ain't studied Buddhism. I ain't studied the Quran. I ain't did all the other stuff. I have friends that are along those lanes. If I need them to elaborate some things from their perspectives on those, I can go do the research. But I'm pretty sure it's going to come back to square one. So y'all need to stop the bullshit. When y'all have these conversations, leave that moist ass shit in the closet. Let's use our logic. Let's use real life. 2 dogs, you can own 2 female dogs from now till the end of the world. You ain't never going to get no puppies. A male dog got to come and run all through that motherfucker and get stuck till they bark and separate. I understand. I do not advocate for women getting taken advantage of, getting overpowered, and having to deal with the consequence of whatever became of that for the rest of their lives. So when it comes to certain laws and whatnot, when it comes to laws with women, I do believe a couple level-headed women should be in the room to be like, oh, hey, I get what you're saying, but from a human perspective, this shouldn't be. So yes, you know, being overpowered and ran into and released into and having to bring to term the effects of that, I don't personally believe in that. That's just wild to me, because now you're looking at something that, you know, it wasn't created with love, and that's another problem in itself. You got 10, probably 15% of the population right now that are products of that. They didn't grow up with love. They grew up frustrated or whatever, and they grew up to be fucking menaces in the street too. But all this shit where everybody like, oh, create women. No, y'all need to come over to Bantam Bar and watch this shit. And if y'all got beef with this shit, y'all free to fucking get the link and cam up. And we can go toe to toe on the platform about it. But all this bullshit, I don't give a fuck how much money y'all got collectively on that table that y'all sitting at. Y'all spewing a lot of bullshit and it's not helping anybody. But we can get back into it.
That's a fact.
Oh, whether or not life should be brought into earth, brought here, or if it should be aborted. They deserve to have that right for the simple fact of America does not allow us to run a system the way we should as a family. Men don't understand. You may be the leader, but you might not be the provider. Do you know how to lead if you are not the provider? In the midst of trying to figure it out, we coming from a whole bunch of systematic. It's been constructed for us to be the way that we are, to think that we are. That's not how it was programmed.
And then talk about that program I mentioned where they took they paid to take black fathers out of the house.
And then from there, me and
Right.
Cliff was talking about that. When it started with the Section 8, women were able to take care of the kids without the man being in the house, which gave her the mindset that I can be the leader because I have to be the provider. And then after that, it was the crack epidemic, which guys started using or they was going to prison. Regardless, we stayed out of the house. Now it's social media. And the thing is, we were always here to protect the black women. And if you ever seen the movie Sparta, men were actually the leaders, but the leader knew how to lead because he still trusted the woman with the gift that God gave her, which was intuition and discernment. And if you knew how to treat your woman and she knew how to love and that stress was off her, it allowed y'all to operate as a family unit to be able to trust her so she can be able to trust you. Once you realize how powerful that woman is, a lot of us run around, and even for myself, I struggle with being monogamous because I didn't understand the value of the woman. But once you put a woman next to God, would you play with God the same way? And if you knew what you possessed as powerful, I don't think that we would run around with the promiscuous mindset of thinking it's okay because we want to look at women the way that we are downplayed the thing of how they are.
So I'm gonna interject
real quick though. I think that there's something I think that's really dope that you started with is around women being first close to God, right? Like, and
that's a fact.
And talking about creation, talking about creating, talking about because I do think people talk about the human race all the time, and it started with blah 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 blah. It started in Africa, started in Africa with a black woman, right? And so I do think the closest you could get to power, the closest you could get to life creating circumstances, and is with the black woman.
I wonder, yes.
But also just want to ground us in, when we talk about reproductive justice, it's not just about birthing, right? It's not just about having a kid, and it's about, when we talk about bodily autonomy, it's about, we all want the right to control our bodies. I don't want nobody telling me what to do with my body, right? And that is a right that expands even beyond having a kid, right? And fostering that environment to be able to raise folks. And when we talked about like the village, right? And that it takes a village to raise a kid. It wasn't like, okay, all these people on the block got a responsibility. It was actually, you understood that kid that every decision that goes into raising that kid, teaching that kid how to move, teaching that kid how to communicate, it forms their future, but it also affects everybody in the village, right? And so everybody had a responsibility to make sure that person and the people that were raising that kid had what they needed, had the healthiest environment and things, to make sure that everyone is okay, that we all can live the life that we deserve, right? And so, I do want to also make sure that, I ain't got no kids, just so I can't talk about, a father, but there are fathers at this table. I also got 25 nephews and nieces. I'm over here, you know what I'm saying?
I would say, listen, bro, I need y'all to stop doing that. For those of y'all who don't got kids, you don't have, just because you got nieces and nephews don't mean you're taking care of them 24/7. So just because you got an idea or you see what's going on, you still don't know what's going on. I got nieces and nephews. Nigga, that don't mean nothing. That don't validate you or give you the credentials at all. Stop doing that shit. Cool. You can have the conversation. Have the conversation, that's fine. Just like, just like Kiki, she wanted to ask us if somebody on here was married. It really don't matter. If you got something logical to say and it makes sense and it can move the needle forward, then it don't matter if you're married or not. If it makes sense, it makes sense, regardless if you're married or not. And same thing with this guy. If he doesn't have kids, or he does have kids, if he says something that makes sense and it moves the needle forward, then all right, then say what you got to say. You don't have to validate yourself in that way. I hate, stop doing that. Stop trying to validate yourself. Just have a conversation. Because a lot of times when people try to invalidate you, that they're trying to find a way to say, nah, I ain't listening to you because you don't even do this. You ain't even doing that. You ain't even got this. So nah.
Yeah,
but I get it though, but fuck.
Nah, I agree with you. I don't, that makes no sense for to say like you said, she asked if anyone else is married. So if we're not married, we don't have, the brain power to give our opinion on relationships. I mean, you gotta give you in a relationship before you get married. And then also everyone that's in a relationship ain't doing it right. So like that, or in a marriage, they ain't doing it right. So what the fuck does that have to do with shit? That don't mean nothing. I mean, so yeah, bro. That's great. But you know what? I ain't gonna lie. Most time that will be a woman's criteria. You can only speak on some shit like that if you got this going on. You got that badge. You got this going on. It ain't like, yo, you're not even listening to conversation. You're just hearing about like what sort of credentials I got. People, I mean, shit. You heard the lady on the other day, like on the fucking when dude was grilling about can a biological man have a child, and she fucking went all around the goddamn block. She's a fucking doctor, bro. Yeah, she's a fucking legit doctor. Like, you crazy? I mean, come on, man. Sometimes you gotta use that common sense, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, common sense ain't sold in vending machines, so it ain't common.
Shit, I wish it was. It'd probably be a lot better.
Yeah, I agree, man.
I got strategy over here. But there's perspectives from all on this table from every angle of it, and I do want to go back to and we can go wherever you wanted to go, whatever you wanted to say, but I do want to talk about that like you said, the government shouldn't be involved. Keeping in mind that this is a government that was steeped in what they call white supremacy. I like to call white delusion, right? You know what I'm saying?
Thing, yeah.
It was same thing, right? And the
They don't want to believe that they came from a black woman.
yeah, and the definition.
Becky, you came from a black woman.
Well, the definition
God
of
damn,
masculinity, the definition of what we do with our bodies and how we define a government's role in that came from that corrupt standpoint, that corrupt perspective. So I 100% agree that the government should do anything about it. But where did you want to go with that?
Well, I think one of the things that I think helps, I believe, with women's right in terms of their sexual reproduction is the relationship that we have with the black man. I heard a psychiatrist when I was on one of the panels say that African-American men and women are suffering from 450 years of post-slavery PTSD.
Yes.
So one of the things that I love about this thing right here is that the next one I want to see is black men and black women sitting down together and talking about how do we learn to exist in peace. And I say that because I'm saying this, and a lot of times I have to catch myself. It's emotional. I grew up with a lot of violence around. My father, when he drank, I seen him knock women. My father fight a baby. He was just off. He was mentally off from the oppression of this culture that broke him. And, so we were born, a lot of us were born into that, our fathers, and we're trying to break those cycles. So somehow that ties into me to women's reproductive choices in terms of having a baby with a guy that's comes from a broken family. Now the baby coming in with a broken family and bam, bam, bam. And the mother's asking the father for support. Like, yo, I ain't asked you to have that motherfucking baby. That ain't shit. I don't even know if that's our mother. I mean, there's so many levels to this that make women coward or not want to talk, or be the victim of one guy shot his baby mama and the kids the other day. It's so I think we got to attack that from not just right now in this racist culture that we're seeing with this administration, but also from a generational standpoint.
For sure.
I don't have the historical.
So everybody can feel how they feel, right? And I get it. I ain't saying feel one way or the other. But just because somebody's the same hue as you does not mean that they have the same mentality, goals, drive, or whatever as you. Kamala's not black. Per the American definition of what black would be. Per African American standards, she's not black. So we gotta stop the bullshit.
And that's fucked up, but you even have to say, you have to explain it that way. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying. So we gotta stop the bullshit. Now, do a lot of white people use Donald Trump as a golden ticket, so to speak, to get their dumbass stress off? Yes. Does Trump shut them down when they do dumb shit in his name? No. So I understand how stuff gets roped together.
Right.
But zoom all the way the fuck out and be objective. And put 5 instances of Trump being racist. Not classist, not narcissistic. Racist. Put that shit in the chat right now. Okay, we can talk about the Central Park 5. Trump didn't put them motherfucking dudes in jail. God bless their soul. Trump had enough money to make that front page news that swayed public opinion that landed them there, but the prosecutors and the judges and whatnot put them in there. The 12, whatever the fuck you call them people that, I forget, the jury, whatever, them 12 people, they put them motherfuckers in there.
Hold on, I'm gonna let you cook. Let me just throw this piece in here too. It's the same thing what Trump did in that situation is the same thing what people do every single day. He judged them based off the court of public opinion, but he had money behind him to do it.
And he had enough money to sway a lot of people to go the way that he was thinking.
Yep.
That's wrong as fuck.
Yep.
I'm not gonna back him on that.
Facts.
But in the same strength, if we want to go bar for bar like it's battle rap and see who won the round, Kamala has single-handedly put more black people in jail. If we're gonna just speak on jail alone, she has single-handedly put more black people in jail than that man has. Now, if we want to go back, y'all crying about these Epstein files. Y'all failing to realize Trump got beef with fucking Epstein, and he's the reason that these files was even brought up to begin with. They done fell out well beyond 2 decades. And Trump was like, if it's up forever. Is he in files? Yes, but we need to dissect where what falls.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the business community, a lot of people shake hands and rub shoulders. So just because they was at the same banquets and everything doesn't mean that, you know, they was all on the same type of time when they left those places in those spaces. Right. And this is how last week when we was talking about the stuff, I told Ashley when she was up here, I haven't gone through them to dissect them myself. I can't take people's word as for what's in there until I read it, because a lot of people can read a lot of things, but comprehension be off. I done watch in real time people read things, and then the way that they fucking take it with their logic be far off from what it is. And I'm not saying that I read things and I'm any better. Everybody's comprehension just is different.
Hey, Mom, before I let you cook, Marcus, or Raw. Hey, yo, Fish Guru, if you want us to answer that question, bro, you got to put a super chat in there, man. You got to put a super chat.
And then I'll just wrap it up so Marcus can get some mic time. But between those things, right? So now if we get back into Trump, there are a lot of people, I'm not going to act like it's media that's making him be called racist or whatever. I even have people in my family that since the Central Park 5 and not running into people in the 80s and all this other stuff didn't rock with Trump. And they called him racist or whatever. And realistically, you're in a country where you're nothing but a number. Until you can create a way for you to stand out, you're just a number. And that's where some of these programs that they were talking about in this conversation come from. If you get taken advantage of and your stomach swells up as a result, you can't get rid of it because we need that number to go out. That's why you have a social security number. You are a metric in a bigger scale. You are a metric to a bigger piece of a puzzle.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up because they not giving you enough to turn that that person, that creation into a proper functioning piece of society. They just want the number because there's a lot of finessing that goes on in the back end. I'm not going to deep dive into that because that's going to have to be a show on itself, of which that'll probably be something we'd have to drop in the Patreon or whatever, because once you start deep diving into some shit, I doubt YouTube gonna let us leave that video up on Front Street.
Facts.
But what I'm driving at is, when it comes to Kamala, it's not that people don't have this thing where they just hate women so much that women can't lead. It's just a lot of y'all have a veil on to where y'all want something so bad that y'all let this veil block you to where y'all just want to throw anybody in there. And a lot of people that are logical are just like, nah, we don't mind certain pieces being on the puzzle board, but this one right here is defective. No.
It's a no, for sure.
Trump, that man was hood hero forever. Matter of fact, I just seen something the other day. I think it was Uncle Luke was walking some shit back. It's like, oh yeah, I done party with Trump multiple times. It was never any underage kids or whatever. Because now that people is coming out in them files or whatever, everybody over there trying to save face. So now all y'all motherfuckers was silent until you realize, oh, okay, this shit could be knocking on your front porch too. Now you trying to clean up and save face. When I was a kid, I found it weird with beauty pageants. There's a story I gotta send to you, Courtney. If you want to cover it, you can cover it, or we can cover it next week. Okay. There's a lady, I think it was in California, maybe, but she was from Utah. She had a daughter in a cheer competition. The daughter didn't get the place that the mom felt she should get. She killed the daughter and herself.
Huh?
Why is your kid in a chair competition to begin with, knowing that weird ass people fucking be out there looking at these people in these
yeah.
My daughters want to do a chair, and I'm like, you know what? My wife had to sit me down and was like, look, I was a cheerleader and blah blah blah, and it ain't really what you. I'm like, all right, well, if you're comfortable with it, I might leave the safety off, but just know, motherfucker get to staring too long, I might light these bleachers up.
Oh yeah.
Because there's a lot of weirdos out there. Because when I was a kid, I'm like, why do you have beauty pageants and motherfuckers be 6-7 years old? I'm outside playing in the sandbox, and this motherfucker got a full face of makeup on in front of these judges as old as hell, talking about XYZ, and you didn't look this. That is a kid.
Hold on, was that John Benet Ramsey thing that happened way back in the day? Is that which one you talking about?
Oh yeah. Tomorrow, she's one of the most beautiful women.
She was a kid that was in a beauty pageant that got killed.
No,
no.
This one is recent. It's a white lady from Utah.
Okay.
And they went to a chair competition, and I'm guessing they probably took an L. They didn't get a medal or a trophy or whatever. And as a result, the mom was so off the rocker, off the kid. And obviously, accountability comes with you taking a life. She probably ain't want to face the accountability. She offed herself.
Of course she did.
Oh, yeah.
But my thing is, let kids be kids. Just because we was robbed as our childhoods, depending on what walk of life we came from or whatever, doesn't mean that we got to continue that cycle, which is exactly what some of them at the round table right here were saying. You're supposed to do better for the future. Why are you parading kids? Kids shouldn't have makeup on.
Facts.
A lot of these grown-ass women shouldn't have makeup on, but I'm not going to tell a grown person that's stuck in their ways what to do. A lot of women look more ugly with their face beat than they do with it washed. And I'm going to just keep it 100. A lot of them put that clown face costume on and look worse than if they wash their face. And then they wonder why when their hair is nappy and they in their sweats at the corner store, more men holler at them than when they dress up for that banquet and got their face beat in that damn silk red dress. Because we finally get to see you, not who the fuck we ain't trying to see your favorite Pokemon.
Right.
We trying to see you. And that's when we get to see you, when you nappy and you probably ain't brush your teeth and you thought you could just sneak in and get some toothpaste real quick and run back home. And it's like, nah, run me your number first.